Hey, everybody, I'm Jogan Rivera, and welcome to What If Deku Was a Comedian. Oh, God, that was horrible. Real quick, I've been gone for 2 weeks. I'm sorry, I had a bunch of personal stuff going on. I had to move. And my leg was healing. And it's healed now. I can walk. It stinks. Damn cast. You growling? Why you growling? Anyways, we're all good now. I'm all good now. Everybody's good now. And might be wondering, you're starting a new What If? No, this is actually a one-shot. One little thing. It's quick, easy. Actually, it might be a bit longer than most What Ifs. But, whatever. I'm just gonna have some fun with it. So, yeah. And I thought it was a pretty good idea. I don't know. So, why not? And I love stand-up comedy. I love it. I've always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. You guys think I'm funny? Hopefully. You guys think I'm entertaining? Hopefully. So, why not? I mean, this is actually gonna be my 20th video, and I'm already, like, over 500 subscribers. By the way, I have 500 subscribers. I'm pretty sure I have 500 subscribers. I don't know. But I'm just surprised, and I am so thankful. And I want to thank you guys so much for everything you've done for me. And, yeah. Plus, I originally got a Switch. By the way, Limbo is a very hard game. But, whatever. Anyways, let's just get into this. So, start with Izuku Midoriya. Lately, he's been thinking about his career. Because today, he's supposed to pick a career path. That's actually how the beginning of the anime starts, not the final day of middle school. They're picking a career path. People will go like, oh, I want to go to this high school, blah, blah, blah. And people choose UA and blah. Yeah, you know? And Deku, he's confused. He knows he wants to be a hero, but he's been second guessing himself. And he's really, really nervous about this. All his life, he's been nervous, wearing this mask, showing that he can't show his true self because he's nervous that other people will judge him because of it. So he's this ancient, what's the word? Anxious. I can't speak properly. Like, blah, 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 you know? Anxious. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I suck at speaking. Anxious and shy person. And he's scared that others will show him, but his real her personality, the one that he only shows to his mother, really, is that he's funny, he's smart, and he's really, really nice. But around other people, he's still nice, but he's just really, really quiet, and people don't really see him. He's practically invisible. But when people do, they make fun of him because he's quirkless. He's a nobody. And growing up, he looked up to a somebody, All Might, someone that is practically made of pure light. And whenever somebody sees him, they smile. They see his beacon of hope, being there, helping people. He wants to smile and help others. He wants to see people happy, not sad or scared. He wants others to be good, feel good, do good things. He wants the world to be in peace, you know? And he's thinking about this in his in his chair, and the teacher's trying to get his attention for the test, or trying to see what high school he wants to go to. As the teacher says, Midoriya, pulls up his head and says, What? What was the question? Midoriya, what high school do you wish to go to? Bakugo, staring back at Deku as he knows that he's about to say UA, and he's ready to blast him with a explosion, as Deku says, I haven't really decided. Most people are like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. And some people are like confused, including Bakugo. I thought you do UA because he's want to be a hero for so long, you know? Everybody's like, huh. And everybody's like, huh, I guess he gave up on that. I guess he's being realistic now. Bakugo, he's a bit disappointed. I mean, he's happy that Deku's now finally off his fucking back, but he's disappointed. Thought he'd give up more of a fight. I mean, he's Deku. Sure, he's a nerd, but he always gets back up. That's the only thing he really admired about Deku. As he just takes it off, he says, I guess that was a bit too hard on him. And so he kind of decides to lay off Deku for a bit. And everything goes as canon. And, you know, Bakugo getting captured by the sledge villain actually attacking Midoriya, you know, blah, 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 all that. Or no, it's the other way around. Midoriya, sledge villain attack Midoriya. All Might takes the sledge villain away. Zuko grabs onto All Might. They talk about the injury. All Might leaves, crushing Midoriya about quirk stuff. And blah, blah, blah. They go to where Bakugo is being attacked by the sledge villain. All Might dropped, blah, blah. And we go to where Deku is walking home. Where Zuko, canonly, he'd be giving him all for one. I mean, one for all. Or saying that he's going to give him one for all. But instead, he's getting scolded by All Might. Saying that was dangerous and reckless. But I have to admit, it was very heroic. But still, these jobs are dangerous, and I don't want to see anybody getting hurt. That's why I said those things to you. As Deku looks up, thinking he was only trying to protect me. He was trying to be realistic. As he now understands, he can't become a hero. It's actually impossible. His eyes start to dim a bit, kind of getting sad. As Midori says, I've always wanted to make people smile. All Might surprised. Deku continues on. I wanted to be like you, a beacon for others. To help people come to peace, laugh, just to make them happy. To make them forget that this world is so messed up. Judging you, making you to where you have to look behind your shoulder every 5 seconds. Nervous about showing your true self. I want people to relax. To be themselves once in a while. To be happy. As tears start falling from his eyes. I wanted to make others happy. I wanted them to see me and think happy, you know? I want others to be happy when they're around me. And I want people to be around me, to want to be around me. I don't want to be a nobody. He begins bawling his eyes out. I don't want to be useless anymore. As All Might hears this, and he completely understands. He was like that once too. Having one for all for so many years, he forgot that he was once quirkless as well. Having the same ideals, but different. As he interprets what he says, and All Might then states, well, by the sense of that, I don't think you actually want to be a hero. As Deku, he's a bit confused. As he looks up, eyes red from crying. Deku says, what do you mean? As All Might, he remembers a saying. Or not a saying, but an old friend of his. Says, well, I used to know somebody with the same ideals as you. He wanted to make others laugh, and he wanted to be important at the world at the same time. He wanted to entertain others. Deku kind of catches on what he's saying. Like a comedian? Yes, precisely. Deku thinks about it, and as he thinks, he says, I guess that wouldn't be too bad. Actually sounds a bit fun. But as then he thinks about being up there. As he says, I don't think I'm cut out for that. I mean, people staring at me, judging me. All Might then realizes the stuff about judging and looking over his shoulder every 5 seconds. He's talking about himself. All Might says, well, if you're afraid of people judging you, then do something embarrassing. Midoriya looks up and says, what? All Might says, look, if you've done something really embarrassing, or have already done something really embarrassing, just think about that. And when you go on stage, and you look out and think, I've done worse. I can do this, you know? As Deku, he thinks about a story about when he was younger. He kind of laughs. He says, I guess you're right. As he stands up and bows. Thank you, All Might. I think you pushed me forward a bit to a new goal. Thank you so much. All Might smiles and says, anytime. Oh, and here. As he hands a business card to him. Says, I know somebody who loves comedy. Ask him for a bit of advice. As Deku takes it, and there's actually 2. One leading to Night Eye's agency, and the other to a sort of tavern. A bar which is known for comedians uprising there. A small bar, but still a bit famous. Not too famous, but, it's in the middle. Called the Laughing Barrel. An old strip club turned into a bar and comedian place. As then he looks and says, I think I might check it out. As the light begins to come back to his eyes. As he runs home, excited. Inko asks where he's been and is he alright because he heard about what happened to Bakugo. And he says everything's fine, blah blah blah. And he said, I'm gonna go in my room. I'm not really feeling hungry for dinner today. I'm sorry. I love you. Good night. As he goes into his room, slamming the door. She's confused, but happy to see her son, excited. She's confused at the same time, but still happy. As then, Deku, he starts getting on to work. Thinking of stories and jokes to make. Already thinking up of a bit of a comedy show, bit of stand-up, some jokes. Thinking of segues. Thinking of how things can go. Thinking of sounds. He looks up stuff that comedians do, sound effects, things he can do with a mic. Body posture, trying to build up his confidence at the same time. And he spent the night doing this as he actually fell asleep in the middle of it. He fell asleep around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And he goes to school around 7 or 8 o'clock. As it's 7:30 and his mom walks in saying, Izuku, it's time to wake up. As he sees her son on the desk, sleeping, drool getting on his paper. As he has a new notebook. Instead of heroes, it's a comedy notebook. As she tilts her head and smiles. Oh, honey, must stayed up all night doing homework. As she looks at the paper, seeing stuff about jokes. She looks on the laptop. It's off due to the screen, being on. As she moves the mouse, revealing that it's a bunch of stuff about stand-up comedy. as she thinks and says, he's doing stand-up? As she's proud of her son. She's happy that he moved on from being a hero. Bit disappointed, thinking that she's a bad mother for not supporting his dream, but happy that he found something new instead of being so, mopey. Instead of being straight to mopey, he found something new. He's rising up, As she closes the laptop and gently shakes Deku and says, "Honey, time to wake up. Time for school." As he wakes up suddenly, what? Morning voice, in fact, as she says, "Honey, it's time for school." He says, "Oh, right, sorry." A piece of paper kind of sticking to his face as he latches it off. A bit of drool on his notes. He wipes it off. Puts the notebook in his bag as he runs off, saying, I love you. Sorry if I couldn't get any breakfast." As she says, "There's some toast. You can get a bit of it on your way home. Or on your way there." As he gets the toast, put it in his mouth like, some anime characters do. As he runs to school. And it's the end of school day, and his teacher pulls him. Actually, at the end of school day, teacher asks Midoriya, "Midoriya, have you chosen high school yet?" As Midoriya looks up with a smile on his face and says, "Yeah, I have." Bakugo, thinking it's UA. As he says, "I was thinking of going to Lincoln Trail High School." I'm going to say that. I'm going to call it that. As they're all confused, like, wait, what? Because Lincoln Trail is known as, a bit of drama. But there's actually a class course for comedy. Yeah. Or talking, like, how do I put this? Like, public talking. A public talking course. And business and stuff, trying to become a comedian. As teacher is also surprised this, "Really? Can I ask what course?" As he says, "The comedy course." As Bakugo looks up and says, "Comedy?" Everybody's surprised that he's actually taken interest. As Deku flinches and says, Yeah, I thought it'd be good, no. Really nervous, afraid that people will judge him. As one of his fellow classmates say, "Oh, that'd be cool." As Deku looks to him and says, "Huh?" As another one says, "Yeah, comedy. That'd be fun. Though I think you might need to work on that stuttering of yours, Deku." As he's like, "Oh, thanks." As he then gives his paper to the teacher and leaves. Everybody kind of staring at him, completely confused. He wanted to be a hero for so long. Now he wants to be a comedian? As Bakugo, he's just staring at Deku like, what the hell happened to him? But kind of proud of Deku, Kind of happy that he's building up. As for the next training period, the next 10 months... Oh, by the way, one for all is given to Mirio. I'm going to say that. Bullshit, As Deku, he's been, working on lines lines, stories to tell, all that stuff, and he's been working out a bit, to build up his structure. He doesn't want to get ripped, but he does want to get, a bit of muscle, so he doesn't look like a little twig. He wants to be presentable, As he does, he works out a bit, gets some weights, changes his diet a bit, getting a bit healthier, I think. As it is 5 months into the training period. As Deku, he's been taking a bit of online classes for confidence and, showing your true self. As lately he's been building up, people haven't really been noticing until one certain day. Something changes about Deku. He feels warm. Usually when he wakes up, he feels a bit tired. That lingering tiredness. And a bit of a tired, drained feeling. Most people feel when they're anxious or a bit depressed. But today he feels full of energy. He's smiling, happy. He's humming. He's walking, dancing as he walks. Nothing stupid like the Tobey Maguire stuff. Oh, y'all remember that nightmare. But anyways, he's dancing. He walks into the kitchen. His mom laughing a bit like, honey, what are you doing? You're in a good mood this morning. I says, yep, I'm just feeling really happy. As he gets a bit of bread, toast, whatever, something to eat, he takes it and says, I'm going to go out for a bit, okay? I have a bit of an appointment. Or meeting. Or, something. Something scheduled. As she asks, what for? As she says, Night Eyes Agency. As she says, but I thought you didn't want to be a hero anymore. A bit worried. As she says, oh, don't worry. It's actually still for comedy advice. Apparently, Sir Night Eye is really big into comedy. As she's confused on why he would be. He's really serious. But he's like, okay. As he goes over to the agency. On his way there, he bumps into a really buff blonde man, or teenager, with blue eyes, with beady blue eyes, and a really white smile, and says, oh, hi there. I'm Mirio Toga. Nice, Togeda. Togeda? Togeda Mirio Togeda, whatever. He says, I'm Mirio Togeda. Nice to meet you. Says, oh, hi, I'm Mizuki Midoriya. Nice to meet you too. They shake hands. Deku instantly feeling the difference in strength. As he looks at the boy, clothes a bit tight, he's wearing a yellow shirt. A yellow shirt with blue jeans and a bit of work boots. With a backpack on. Says, so where are you headed? Says, oh, I'm just going somewhere. This way. He points to a direction that, ironically, Midoriya is going. Says, oh, I'm going that way too. You want to talk? As says, oh, sure, why not? As they continue talking, laughing a bit, Deku showing a bit of his, funny side. Mirio laughing a bunch, saying, man, you're really funny. How old are you anyways? Deku saying that he's recently turned 14 and about to go into high school. As Mirio says, oh, really? What high school are you going to? Lincoln Trail. I was hoping to go into the comedy division, actually. As Mirio gasps to say, oh, you're gonna be a comedian? Oh, hell yeah, man! I heard this place called the Laughing Barrel. I heard recently that they're looking for new comedians to show up, or new people to sign up for shows. Have you tried going there? Six says, oh, I'm not ready for that place yet. A lot of famous people came from that place, As Mirio says, really? I haven't really heard of it. My mentor is big on comedy, and he hasn't really talked about it much. Six says, oh, really? That's cool. As they continue walking, and the more they walk, the more realize, wow, a bunch of ironic turns that they're heading the exact same direction. As Deku then just says, where exactly are you heading? As Mirio then says, oh, I'm heading to Night Eye's agency. Deku says, wait, I'm heading there too. As Mirio's confused, says, wait, didn't you say you want to be a comedian? Deku says, I'm asking for comedic device. Well, you did say that your mentor, I'm guessing Night Eye, was into comedy, so yeah, I was pointing towards him, so as he says, oh, well, I guess that's cool. Well, come on. As they go to the agency, talking, both laughing. Mirio pulling out a bunch of cheesy puns. Deku pulling out some clever sly jokes. Warming up to Mirio, thinking he's really funny, he's a nice guy. As he gets a sense that he's really similar to All Might. As he smiles a bunch. A really big smile. As they continue walking. They go into the agency and go to the waiting room, which is right next to Night Eye's office. As they walk in, they see Night Eye talking to a skinny man. Deku, or Mirio, not knowing who the man really is, but Deku immediately recognizes him. As he's about to say All Might, he catches and says, as he remembers All Might telling Midoriya's name, telling Midoriya his real name, Toshinori Yagi. That's it, right? Bit of a brain fart. Deku says, Mr. Toshinori, hi. Night Eye, surprised that he knows his real name. As All Might says, oh, young Midoriya, it's great to see you. I didn't expect you being here. Guess me directing you was the right choice. Well, as he doesn't really know what to say, Night Eye walking up to Midoriya, asking Midoriya and Mirio, saying, who's this Mirio? Mirio saying, oh, this is Zuko Midoriya. He was actually coming here for some comedy advice. Night Eye kind of, flinching a bit, surprised, as the light from the light bulb above reflects on his glasses. Deku not being able to see his eyes, not knowing what he's thinking, what he's feeling. As Night Eye asked Midoriya, so you think you're funny? As Midoriya then says, well, I'm hoping to be. I mean, his job as a comedian, so I hope so. As he rubs the back of his neck, nervous. As then he says, well, I mean, very nervous, not knowing what to say. He's really, really intimidated. As then he looks down, seeing that Night Eye's shoelace is actually untied. Says, Mr. Night Eye, your shoelaces are untied. Night Eye says, I'm not falling for that old trick. Deku says, no, seriously, they're untied. Says, and seriously, I'm not falling for that. In a very serious tone. Deku kind of getting pissed off. Says, okay, for a guy that has a quirk that can literally see in the future, you're not that very observant now, are you? How about you look down and actually listen to someone? Kind of getting off rude, but making a couple people laugh. Night Eye, set back, kind of offended, as he then looks down and seeing that his shoelaces are in fact untied. As then, he chuckles. Yes, you are a bit funny. Alright, I'll give you a bit of advice. As then he goes into his office and grabs a couple files, giving them to Midoriya. Deku, confused, saying, what's this? Says, this is some things I have on comedy. Look it over and see what you can do. As then he pulls Mirio and All Might into the office. That actually being the time where they're supposed to talk about, one for all. Mirio, still confused on who this old guy is. Later, finding out that it's All Might, and then actually Night Eye and Mirio asks, how does All Might know Midoriya? As he tells the story that he caught him as, he was deflating. Ooh, that is good. I love Fanta. Ooh, Fanta, Fanta, Fanta. Don't you want a Fanta, Fanta, Fanta? Don't you want a Fanta, Fanta, Fanta? Sorry. As Night Eye asks, is he gonna keep your secret? All Might saying, "Oh, don't worry, he'll keep my secret." He's actually a bit of a fanboy like you, Night Eye. Night Eye, blushing a bit, and says, "Yeah, sure." As Mirio looking at Night Eye and thinking about Midoriya, they're actually a lot alike, from the green hair to the interest in comedy to the obsession of All Might. They're a lot alike more than you think. Mirio thinks, wait, I guess I forgot to ask him something. All Might and Night Eye looking over at Mirio. All Might asks, "What's the problem, young man?" Mirio saying, "I never really got his quirk. I was wondering. But the more we talk, the more I kind of forget about that stuff." It was kind of weird. As he begins to look down and pat his stomach, I got like a weird feeling, like butterflies in my stomach, but instead of nervous, I felt energized. The more I talked to them, the more we laughed and talked, the more I felt, close. Kind of forgot about my surroundings and just felt happy. It's weird. Maybe that's just a quirk. So All Might, he just has a big smile on his face. That's exactly what Midoriya was wanting. That's exactly what Midoriya was aiming for. Deku, he doesn't know this. All Might thinking that Midoriya is closer to his goal than he ever thought he would be. We go to Midoriya a couple days later, looking over the notes that he was given by Sir Night Eye, scanning them, looking at everything they have, trying to put his notes and Night Eye's notes together, trying to make his own little, collage of comedy. Collage of comedy. Ooh, that sounds good. As the more and more he reads, the more and more he analyzes, the more and more ideas pops into his head as he connects that loud noises make people, kind of laugh, and funny noises, a lot of stuff. He watches some comedians and comedians from back before Quirks, and he really likes comedians back before Quirks, like Gabriel Iglesias, aka Fluffy, or a bunch of people. From that to even some not that very famous people, like Henry Rollins, or what's his name? Henry Rollins is actually pretty funny. I really like his special on Comedy Central. This is not happening. Stuff about the punk rock Hayans, something like that. And he thinks of more like, Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. As you actually watch a bit of Cheech and Chong. TJ Miller, all these comedians. Chris Red, Roy Wood Jr. And one comedian kind of caught his eye. What was his name? What was it? I'll get back to that comedian's name in a bit. Hold on. And he was looking at all these comedians, and he just fell in love. And they're all hilarious. As he noticed something about all these comedians. These comedians tell crazy stories that are unbelievable. And each of them have something special about them that no other person had. About Fluffy being a fat Mexican, or fluffy Mexican, from people growing up in New Orleans, from Sean Patton, or Sean Patton, whatever. Sean Patton. I loved his thing of cumin, or cumin, whatever you want to say. I love that. That was hilarious. And I actually found this out recently. Drew Carey, the guy that's the host of Price is Right, he is a comedian. And he has a story called A Bad Trip at Electric Disney Daisy Carnival. Which, by the way, it's kind of like Woodstock. Oh my god, I forgot the name of... How did I forget the name of it? the little festival where everybody gets fucking blazed. In the 70s, bunch of hippies. It isn't Woodstock. Is it? I don't know. How did I forget that? I love the 70s and 80s and stuff. I love that stuff. Music, culture. I actually own a pair of bell-bottom jeans for some reason. I don't know. Just have them in there. But anyways, as he loves these old comedians, and he realizes everybody has something different about them. Whether they're musical, or they're a dad with 2 kids, everything. As Deku, he looks at everybody today as they use their quirk as comedy. Deku, he doesn't have a quirk. He thinks, again, me not being quirkless, again, is going to be a handicap. So he thinks more and more and says, or it could be a boost. Him being quirkless, his adventures of how he's quirkless, is going to help him be a comedian. As there's actually no current real, famous or really known quirkless comedian. Quirkless people nowadays aren't really, out there. As Deku sees this and he's like, I have a chance. As he gets happy, he starts going down. Writing jokes about how he's quirkless and all this. Starting out morbid, but then getting a bit dark humor. Everybody loves dark humor. I mean, it's the best type of humor, As somebody walks over to the light, turns off, says knock knock. You don't get that joke. I hate you. But he gets all this, and it's a month before, the UA Sports Festival happens, or actually for the what did I say? The Abraham Trail. I forgot why I called the school again. Something Trail? Armand Trail? Something Trail. I forgot the name of the school. Let's name it AT. The AT High School. Say UA, it's AT. So he's getting ready for the entrance exam for AT, which they had to show a bit of a talent. It's like a talent show. People are doing music and juggling. It's an arts school. And Deku, he's ready for comedy, as he has his show ready. It's actually a month before the UA entrance exam, and he's walking to the gates of the school. His mom, back home said, "Be careful. I love you. Blah blah blah. Hope you get in." All this good stuff. And actually, the high school is a bit of a boarding school, or a boarding school with dorms and stuff. As Deku, he looks up at the school as he's really nervous. Then he remembered everything. Sir Night-Eye giving him the advice from the videos to everything. The online classes, the doctors helping him build up his confidence, which he's really thankful about. And he gives him a pretty large tip, because his mom is actually a animator. I'm going to say that. He's like a manga animator. I'm going to say that. For plot. So they're a bit more wealthy than Canon. And he gets an allowance. And he does do a bit of work. Like mowing lawns if someone has a lawn. Picking up trash. Trying to rake up money so he can do this stuff. How long have we been recording? Only 39 minutes? Really? It's been like an hour already. As Deku, he continues. Walks into the gate. Chest up high. Chest puffed. Head up high. Arms at his side. Walks in. And like I said, Deku's been training. And he has a pretty well built muscle. He's pretty well muscle. Has more muscle than the average male. He isn't as ripped as he was in canon. He has like a faint 6-pack. It's tight, but not too tight. And he is going to be continuing to work out. He doesn't want to be a bodybuilder, but he wants to be, presentable. As he continues, he goes in, does the, written part of the test. And I'm going to say, go ahead and say he got a really high score because he was expecting something like really hard. And he was actually still, back then, he was still studying for the UA entrance exam. So I'm going to say like that was really hard, harder than any school. So this was actually like not even half as hard. It was like a 1/4% hard. As he aced it, he got like the top score. And Deku, they're actually splitting up in the type of performances they're doing, like dance, sing, all that. As he goes into comedy, he walks in, and there's like nobody there. There's like 4 or 5 people, like not even that, like 3 or 4, like 3 or 2 people, including him. Nobody really special. Walks in, sits down, looks around. Nobody really paying attention to him. Actually, nobody really saw him walk in. Again, Midoriya's kind of invisible. And he's really nervous, so he's in his, old habits again. Head down, slouched, trying to not be noticed. As Deku realizes this, and then breathes in, does a bit of breathing exercises. Breathes in, out. As he takes out his notebook, doing notes, looking at his jokes. As he's ready, people get their name called. As now it's his turn. He's the second last person to be called up. Or no, he's the last person to be called up. He walks out, seeing 3 people, the teachers. One of them, I'm gonna say this for plot. One of the judges is a special guest judge, and it's actually the laughing hero, Mrs. Joke. And she's like, "What? I didn't know Pro Hero was gonna be here." As she's laughing, being herself. As he walks up and says, "Hi, I'm Mizuki Midoriya. It's great to meet you all." He bows and says that I am doing a comedy bit. As they're like, "Okay, go on." As back then he did see the other shows, and they were pretty good. And one stand out more than the others, thinking, man, they're really good. Miss Joke laughing through all of them, but the other 2 were still stone cold faced. Chuckling a bit, like a little, like if you're looking at a meme and you found something funny, it's like, air coming through your nose. Okay. Deku, he remembers to be confident. As then they saw an anxious, shy little boy come through. So like, this isn't gonna be really worth our time. As the 1 of the 2, I'm gonna say it's a guy in glasses, a bald guy in a suit and glasses, a girl in a pantsuit and blue hair with purple skin because she's a mutant. I don't know. World quirks. And Miss Joke, she's a bit of a bitch, and she was about to ask him to just go. As then he puffs out his chest, and a new glow starts to surround him. As they're amazed, like, whoa, what did this happen? As Miss Joke says, reminder, you're not allowed to use your quirk or anything during this performance, Mr. Midoriya. As Deku is confused, says, I actually can't not do that. As the confused, like, yeah, it's the rule. Says, no. Deku says, no, I'm actually physically unable to do that. I'm actually quirkless, so, yeah. If it does, I mean, like, whoa, what the hell? Am I right? As that was kind of lame. As like, God. This joke kind of chuckling, like, that was funny, kid. He gives him the benefit of the doubt. And then Deku, he starts giving them jokes, like, how's everybody doing tonight, huh? Acting like he has a full crowd, which you'll see later. As he's doing this, and the more he talks, the more Miss Joke actually laughs. She's finding this kid hilarious. He was nothing like he was when he walked in. Bit embarrassed, stumbling, but now he's full of confidence. He has the microphone in his hand, walking around. Deku ditched his school uniform, and he's now wearing his school uniform pants and a black shirt. black t-shirt. You know, most comedians wear black t-shirts. He's wearing that, showing his biceps a bit. He's walking around, telling jokes, doing noises, doing comedian stuff. And even the two stone cold people are like kind of chuckling. They're like, as the more and the more it goes on. This went on longer than most of the shows did. Most of the shows were like 30 to 45 minutes long. This was an hour to an hour and a half long show. He was prepared, and this is only a bit, like a small bit of his show, of all the jokes he has in general. He's telling all these jokes, a bit of stories, how he's quirkless, and the life of a quirkless boy and a powerless boy in a powerful world. That's his, go-to. As he makes a joke that sticks out more than any others about how one time he was protecting someone from the school bully, and the bully blamed it on Midoriya, saying that he uses quirk. And he's like, bitch, I'm quirkless. And that just sticked out to everyone. Everyone. They may be wondering, what do you mean by everyone? You'll see in a second. As then the more and more he does this, he then realizes he was in a zone. He could barely even hear the crowd. As he looks out and he squints. So then the girl in the middle, she deactivates her quirk. All the previous people, the dancers, all the previous people that were doing their shows and stuff, the singers, the dancers, the artists, all of them, when they're done, they can go to a show and see how they're doing, or like how their friends are doing or something, to watch it. And someone in the group is able to hide their presence or something, As Deku sees this, he's like, what? As it was actually the end of his show, where everybody busts out laughing, including the two Stone Cold judges. Everybody's laughing hysterically. Everybody's smiling and everything. Deku really tensed up, but at first when he saw the crowd, but then he started to mellow down. He started getting happy. As then he grabs the mic, puts it back in the stand, says, I'm Izuku Midoriya, thank you for coming out tonight. Or something like that. Thank you for listening to me. And this was my entrance exam for, formal stuff. As everybody begins clapping, standing out there to see, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Deku bows and stuff, and he walks out picking up his coat and his backpack and leaves. As he thinks, I think I did pretty good. As he's running home, as he actually bumps into someone. As soon as he bumps in, he says, oh, I'm sorry. As he looks up, seeing a girl. By the way, this is a bit of a ship. It's nothing too crazy, but it's just a little bit. Sees a girl with pink dreadlocks. Yeah, I don't know if they're dreadlocks. I'm gonna say they are. It's pink dreadlocks and goggles on her head, with a box of spare parts and other machinery. Oil on her face, with some sort of mechanic suit, jumpsuit on her legs, and the top part tied around her waist with a black tank top on. She says, oh, I'm fine. Are you okay? As he gets up and says, yeah, I'm good. Sorry if I messed anything up there. She says, oh, I'm good. And show my babies. As he says, wait, you have children in that? As he says, not actually, well, it's May. It's May Hatsume, if you guys were wondering. As May says, oh, no, not actual babies. They're my babies, my creations. So then he realizes, oh, she might be like a mechanic or a inventor or a support course. Like a support hero. Something, like power loader. Whew. As it says, oh, so you're in the support course? Or support field? As she says, "Yep, I'm hoping to go to UA." As he flinches and says, "Oh, well, I hope you get in. The entrance exam is in a month, right?" She says, "Yep." As then she says, well, "What are you doing?" She says, "Oh, I just left my entrance exam from my school." She says, "Oh, what are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I was actually, when he said that, a machine pinged. And says, you have a notification on your phone, May Hatsume, May, glitching out a bit. As then it's a video, actually. A friend of hers, who was actually a dancer, if you get knowing what I'm about to do, actually sent her a video, saying, this guy's hilarious, can't wait until he's big. And she says, oh, is that you? As then it shows a video or a recording of the whole entire show he showed off. It isn't legal to actually do that in that show, in that school. I'm actually say it's like good, and if people like it and stuff, the more famous, the more publicity they get. And I'm gonna say that the thing got online and got on like their channel. It got on like the AT high school comedy channel, because they have a YouTube. Of course, they'll have a YouTube for videos, and that got on as like an entrance exam stuff, and the more likes. And Deku, his video is blowing up, like it's almost famous. As they're talking about the green-haired comedian, everybody's blowing him up. May's like, oh, so you're famous, huh? And she says, oh, I just left there. That was fast. How many views does it have? She says, about 20,000. It's like, 20,000? Oh, that's a lot. It says, yeah, and this is just in the area of Japan. Maybe until it reaches the whole entire world. I mean, it already has subtitles and everything. He's like, wait, really? As he looks, and he's getting famous so quick. As he's surprised, like, I never thought I'd get famous like this out there. It's like, well, I'd like to see where your career goes. I'm not really big on comedy, but I might check this video out later. You never know. Or we could talk about it if you want. As he's confused, like, huh? As then a robot arm pulls out a piece of paper, or prints out a piece of paper, having a business card. A small bit of business card with her phone number on it, saying, call me. And if you need any babies for your comedy, just call me up, okay? Bye! As she walks away with her machines, or babies, in her hands. As he has the card in his hands, like, wait, did I just get a girl's number? As he's like, wait, what? He's freaking out. He aced his test, got famous, and got a girl's number in one day. It's like, I think I chose the right career path. As he continues on, he goes home. The Kotsky family, actually already there. Inko actually invited them over so they can celebrate him coming home, and blah blah blah. When he gets home, there's a bit of a surprise party. And says, what's going on? And then he looks over and sees Kotsky leaning on a wall with a party hat on and a little thing. What is it called? Little buzzer thing they blow into and goes like, peh, peh. If it goes like peh, then it's defaulty and you need to sue the store that you bought it from. But he goes like, peh, or whatever, a little air horn thing. As he's just sitting there, arms crossed, like not wanting to be there. He looks over at Deku, and Deku's like, Kachan? Wait, you're here? And you're not yelling? As he has like a surprised face on as Katsuki's like, the fuck you just say? Inko and Katsuki and Katsuki's parents chuckling like, he's like, so you're already becoming a comedian, huh? As he's like, yeah, not realizing what he said, still in a bit of a comedian mode. Or a stage mode, as I like to call it. And then Katsuki says, alright, we're done here. I want to go home. Deku says, well, I mean, don't you want to know how it went? I mean, I could show you. As they're confused, like, show us? Says, yeah, apparently somebody in the crowd was recording. Ingo says, crowd? Wait, you had to go out there in a crowd? Deku says, well, I didn't know it was a crowd. One of the judges were using their quirk to hide the crowd, so nobody would get nervous. And the crowd was actually people who already did their exams and just wanted to relax and watch others do their stuff. And apparently my show brought a crowd, a very large crowd, and some people were recording. And got this, as he reaches in his phone, goes ahead and looks up green-haired comedian, couple videos pop up, and a couple memes as well, saying he may be funny, but this guy's funnier, or something. It's like, he may be quirkless, but his power comes from his laughter, or something like that. As he's happy at this, as he pulls up the video and he puts Bluetooth on the TV as it plays the show, and everybody's laughing as it shows him talking about a certain bully, not giving a name for reasons, but the family obviously knowing who that bully is, and the bully himself completely oblivious, might I say, not knowing it's him. Like, oh, this guy sounds like an asshole. Bitch, you are the asshole. It's like looking in the mirror and saying, man, this guy's ugly. Wonder who he is. You know? God, I'm going comedian mode. So, anyways, he continues. Oh, I'm thirsty. This is why people get drinks and stuff in the like performances. Yo, I just chugged that. Bang on my pants. Ugh. Anyways, we're good. I got a ring from my ears from that. Sit down for a bit. Come here, baby girl. Hi, Bella. Hi, Bellas. Who's a good girl? Hi. You want to say something? No, nothing. All right. What was I doing? As they're watching the thing, Baka completely oblivious. As the thing ends, and Inko's so proud of her baby boy, and they celebrate the Bakugo family leaving. Bakugo actually laughing a bit. Them surprised. He's like, what? They're like, nothing. As Deku says, you're going soft, aren't you? As Bakugo says, the fuck you say to me? As Deku said, do you need a hearing aid or something? As then he waits and says, wait, do you actually need a hearing aid? As he thinks and starts mumbling about how his quirk is explosive and it might be loud and how he might need hearing aids. Then he thinks and he goes into his room. Them confused, Bakugo being kind of pissed as he holds a book. An old book wrapped in paper, forgetting he had this, as he gives it to Bakugo and said, I remember buying this at a young age. I was going to give it to you for your birthday, but you never really invited me to one of your parties. So I might as well give it to you now, right? Bakugo confused as he opens the package, it being a book on sign language. Bakugo says, the fuck I need this for? Deku explaining, well, your quirk is explosions. Almost if something happens, you launch a really large explosion, it being too loud, shockwaves, and the shockwaves turn you deaf. So, you're gonna need to learn how to use sign language. Sign language, man. Bakugo, kind of tearing up, says, what the hell ever. Thanks. Him warming up as Deku has a sly smile on his face, getting confidence by the second. He's just sucking this up. Like Naruto with noodles. Oh, actually, ramen noodles. I was about to say, ramen does sound good. Ooh, some beef ramen. Ooh. Anyways, Deku gives a sly grin and says, oh, so you are getting soft on me, are ya? Bakugo blushes and says, shut the hell up. By the way, this is... I was about to say, like, by the way, this is not Baku Deku. I was about to say, like, I already did this shit. As Bakugo then gets a text and says, oh, it's my girlfriend. As then Deku and Nico are like, wait, you have a girlfriend? It's like, yeah. He says, huh, didn't expect you to have a girlfriend. Bakugo's like, the fuck you say to me? Huh. Hell, surprised if a girl ever asked you out, damn nerd. Deku, then having again a sly grin. Bakugo seeing this like, wait. Deku then pulling out a card with a number on it saying, read and weep, bitch. As the confidence got a little bit too high, Inko hears him cuss. As she slaps him on the ass, giving him a bit of a wedgie. As he's like, ah, mom! As she scolds Deku for cussing, never thinking that he would cuss like that. But then instantly seeing the number with the name Mei Hatsume, a female or feminine name, and she says, well, you got a girl's number? As he says, yeah, met her on the way home. She's really nice. You might be able to see her at UA, Bakugo. As he says, what, she going to hero course? Deku saying, no, actually, sport course. He says, whatever. As then the Bakugo family leave, blah, blah, blah. Did I already say that? I feel like I already said that. Anyways, they leave. And we cut to Night Eye. Night Eye is with All Might and Mirio at the beach, them staying up later than they'd hope as they're about to leave. Mirio getting a notification on his phone from Najire Hado saying, hey, look at this kid, he's hilarious. I found him online. He's really getting really popular really fast. Apparently his show happened today. As he sees this and he's like, oh my god. As he screams out, All Might, fuck. All Might, sir, look at this. As he pulls out his phone showing the show, showing a picture of Midoriya smiling in his little comedic attire with a microphone in hand, smiling, arms out a bit, microphone up to his... Think of a Chris Brown pose. I'm just saying, I don't know. Leaning down a bit, head facing down towards the crowd, microphone in hand out the opposite way. I don't know. Just think of your own thing. As they're like, wait, did he actually do a show? As they're realizing it's the exam, and Hado texted a explanation of the stuff, and they're like, whoa. Like, everything happening, from, like, the crowd being hidden, and Deku being awesome, and getting famous real fast. As they're surprised, All Might being really proud, Night Eye watching the whole... Night Eye asking Mirio to send him the video so he can analyze it later. Again, our similarity between the two, they're very analytic. As then the day ends and stuff happens. Night Eye looking at this, seeing the stuff he got from the notes, like, like stuff they saw in the notes and stuff, seeing like the similarities, blah blah blah, analyzing it. I'm to say he analyzed it, saw stuff in it, it was like, oh hey, that's from my notes, stupid stuff like that. All Might proud that he sent a kid on the right path, helping him, blah blah blah, with his dream. And we cut to a couple months later.
or a couple of years later. It's Deku's last year in AT high school, and he's about to become a full-on comedian. And he's actually a bit famous. He's an upcoming comedian. People love him. He's done a couple shows, and he's actually been able to go to Laughing Barrel and do a show. People loved him. And him and his girlfriend have been hanging out a lot. Him and Mei Hatsume. Him getting invited to a bunch of events at UA, from the sports festival to even being able to get into the school festival. It was the sports festival and the school festival, the one with the gentle criminal and stuff, that arc. From everything that, as he's happy to have his girlfriend with him. He's happy to be with this new life. He does talk to All Might, and he does actually somehow learn the truth about One for All by mistake. Him and Mirio are actually really close friends. And now that Mirio is actually a pro hero because he was he was on his senior year, third year. He graduated and he's actually already in the top charts with One for All in his system, plus his powerful quirk and dedication as a hero. And I'm going to say stuff changed. He never got his quirk erased, blah, blah, blah. So he's actually a really good hero. He's famous, and people are calling him the next Simple Piece already. All this stuff happening, and that's about it. You know what? Let's do a couple more years later. Like, he's 38. He's an adult. He's married to Mei Hatsume, has a couple kids. He's a very famous comedian. He's known as he is known as the quirkless comedian, or quirky, actually. People call him quirky because he said something like that along the lines in one of his younger shows and just caught up and became a thing. He's Quirky the comedian. As he's famous, he's hilarious, he's full of confidence, and he's really well built. He's got a six-pack. He is buff. He's like buff. Not All Might buff, not like Ida buff, but he's buff. He's buff. As let me think. He has two kids. Mirio's the number 1 hero, blah blah blah. Bakugo actually the number 2 hero. Him being very close friends to Deku now. All this stuff happening. A bunch of stuff happens, and Eri actually is adopted by Mirio and Hado. I'm gonna put those two together for reasons. Mirio and Hado are together. They adopted Eri for reasons. Blah blah blah. And what else I missed? Nope, that's about it. Hour long. Nice. So, thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, like the video. If you wanted me to see more, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Sorry for the super long break, but I'm back. Hopefully for a good amount of time. Let's see how long our video streak goes up. See you guys later. Bye-bye.